Hello, girls, guys, or otherwise. This is Rich with your Christo-Paganism Sunday. And if you look over here, you see Jelly. She's vying for attention. I'm going to make this Sunday's study just real quick, short and sweet. I was going to do a full video on Ostara and what it means and the history behind it and whatnot. And yeah, it's been a week. If you guys watched my video yesterday for the Witchy Book Club series, we went through Chapter 11 of the Inner Temple of Witchcraft, Chapter 12 coming next week, and yeah, I said in there a couple times, it's been a week, and I still have another week ahead of me that's going to be a week. Yeah, just a lot of hours at work and whatnot, just putting in a lot of time there. You know, gotta get that monies. So anyway, instead of doing a full video on Ostara and whatnot, I actually wanted to go through a little tradition, or a tradition in Christianity that I don't think it's talked about too much. So this is from CatholicCompany.com. And if I remember, I will put a link in the description below. And this is actually the story of the Easter egg told by the Catholic tradition or the Catholic folklore. It's not official canon or anything, but it does include Mary Magdalene, which I know many of us as Christo-Pagans we look to either as the embodiment of Sophia or the Bride of Christ, some both, and I think it would be quite fitting to tell this story. And so yeah, now going back, because this is going to kind of be a whole video on Easter eggs and whatnot, and so don't be deceived, this is not coffee, this is actually mint medley by Bigelow, right? Yes. Yeah, I needed a little mint tea tonight, so grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your beverage of choice, and sit back, relax. We're going to have a little story time. In the meantime, while I'm drinking, go ahead and go down, hit that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe button if you have not already done so. Leave a comment, because your comments do keep me going. I had a comment on yesterday's video saying that they really appreciate these videos and whatnot, and I commented back saying, you know, your comments really do, like the comments of not only this individual but other individuals as well, really keep me going on making these videos, really keep me wanting to continue, rather than saying, well, nobody's watching my videos, why should I even care, that type of thing. So go ahead and leave me a comment and hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. Anyway, so let's start at the beginning. First, we don't know where the Easter egg originated. Most likely it is part of a pagan tradition dating back before biblical times. Most likely, probably so. But I think that the Catholic Church taking up this tradition with Mary Magdalene is quite awesome, and I kind of love it. So I do enjoy this this story, this folklore as it is, because like I said, it is not official canon, so we can talk about things like this and it's totally fine, you know. Even in the church. Now, this isn't something that the church ever really taught whenever I went, at least not in the Protestant traditions. Maybe in the Catholic traditions they actually did. However, not being raised Catholic, I don't know. Maybe one of you guys have been raised Catholic and this is something that was told to you every year. I don't know. If it is, let me know by leaving a comment. because I am, excuse me, let me get my mouth and my brain connected. I am intrigued if this is actually something that is taught in like catechism or something like that as a little folklore or in Sunday school or whatever. Anyway, again, this is a 2017 article on CatholicCompany.com. Again, I will try to leave a link in the description below. And this reads, Mary Magdalene has a special place among Jesus' disciples. It was St. Mary Magdalene's love for Christ that kept her standing at the foot of the cross, weeping and grief-stricken until the Savior died. It was her heartbreaking pain of loss that drove her to his tomb at the first light of day in order to anoint his body. Let's pause there. It could have been her love of this individual that she had followed for years. It could have been, or it could have been the love of a wife and the devotion of a wife. Let's keep that in mind. Anyway, as a reward for her great love and faithfulness, she is the privileged person to whom Jesus first appeared on Easter Sunday morning. She was the very first witness of the resurrection. It was Mary Magdalene, a woman, who went and told the apostles that Jesus has risen from the dead, for she is called apostle to the apostles. Yes. After Jesus resurrected and ascension, after Jesus' resurrection and ascension, Mary Magdalene continued her mission as an evangelizer, contemplative, and mystic in the heart of the church. How lovely. I will stop there. You don't hear much about Mary Magdalene and what she did. She's often confused with the woman with the oil and anointing of the feet of Jesus and whatnot, which she could have been. I don't think the Bible mentions the woman by name, but it is often supposed that it was Mary Magdalene, and we just don't know. And if I have that incorrect, I'm sure somebody's going to correct me down there if I have that incorrect. But we don't hear much about Mary Magdalene except in a few verses in the New Testament, and I really want to know more about her life, especially after the crucifixion, resurrection, ascension, and whatnot, and even stuff that happened before. Who was she? What was she all about? What type of life did she live? And who is in the line of her, who is in her bloodline, that type of thing. I actually have an interesting thing that I'm going to try to put together for Wednesday about somebody in my bloodline that is partially in a response to Kara, aka Cute Witch 772. So stay tuned for a Witchy Wednesday for that one. Yeah, an interesting history going on here. And then we get to Mary Magdalene and the Easter egg. According to tradition, after Jesus' ascension into heaven, the Magdalene, I like how they call her just the Magdalene, a wealthy woman of some importance, again, no evidence to support this, a wealthy woman of some importance boldly presented herself to the Emperor Tiberius Caesar in Rome to proclaim the resurrection of Jesus Christ, with an egg in hand to illustrate her message. Holding the egg out to him, she exclaimed, for the first time, what is now the universal Easter proclamation among Christians, Christ has risen, which, in turn, many of you probably have just said, He has risen indeed. Hallelujah, I believe is the proper phrasing. Anyway, I didn't actually learn about that phrase. Let me just bypass this for a moment. This is going to be very off the cuff, and I'm not editing any of this out. I did not hear the phrase and the response to the phrase until I was in Kansas, and I was probably about 21, 22, 23, somewhere around there, when I first heard that recitation and response. The church that I went to whenever I was in high school, and even the chapel that we had on the military installation for many years until we switched chaplains, they didn't really point that out as a response or recitation and response in Christian tradition, which I kind of don't like that I wasn't told about this. And, it seems like it's such an important recitation and response part that it should have been said. But I digress. We move on. The emperor, mocking her, said that Jesus had no more risen than the egg in her hand was red. Immediately, the egg turned red as a sign from God to illustrate the truth of her message. The emperor then heeded her complaints about Pilate condemning an innocent man to death, and had Pilate removed from Jerusalem under imperial displeasure. Again, I don't think there's any evidence of this, that Pilate was removed because of displeasure or under imperial displeasure or anything like that. I don't think that's really true. However, makes a good story. So, why would Mary Magdalene bring an egg to talk about Jesus to the Roman emperor? In another tradition, it is said that Mary Magdalene brought a basket of white boiled eggs with her on Easter morning to the tomb of Jesus, perhaps as a meal for herself and others as they waited for someone to roll the stone away. When she arrived at the site of the resurrection, finding the stone already rolled away, she also found the eggs in her basket had turned into bright shades of color. Again, no biblical reference to this, but I love the story. Perhaps this is why she brought an egg to the emperor. Did she expect that Jesus would perform a similar miracle for her egg as he had done that first Easter morning? While we don't know if these stories are true with absolute certainty, we do know that the tradition of handing out red eggs at Easter is one that originated among Christians and apostolic times, and we okay. Let me finish this, and then I'll rant. And we often find Mary Magdalene depicted in icons holding a red egg. Moreover, the story fits into the various cultural traditions already surrounding the symbol of the egg. Okay. Hold up. Yeah. Now, the part that gets me is we know that the tradition of handing out red eggs at Easter is one that originated among Christian and apostolic times. It didn't originate there. They co-opted it, most likely. Hold on here. My computer was doing a thing. Most likely, it did not originate with early Christians. It most likely did not. So yeah, they were handing out eggs most likely far long before that. So then they go on to say the Easter egg tradition for many cultures even before the time of Christianity. See, they already contradicted themselves. The egg was a symbol of creation, spring, and rebirth. After the resurrection of Christ, the egg took on a new meaning for Christians and became a symbol of new life breaking forth while leaving the empty tomb behind. Perhaps this became even more pronounced due to the account of Mary Magdalene. Um, so yeah, that's basically where that article ends. Yeah, it's here and there and all over the place for the rest of it. I'll let you guys read the remaining like 3 paragraphs to this. But I thought that was an interesting story, and I think that for me, I'd like to make it canon. I totally would make that a thing in canon law, that Mary Magdalene totally brought an egg and said, hey, I have this egg, and what I say is true, and whenever you say that it's not, and you mock me for it and say that, if what you say is true, this egg will turn red, and it turns red, Mary Magdalene was a witch. I do think. But, I like that tradition. I like that, some of the things that we can take from this. So let's break this down real quick. What can we take from this story is the faithfulness of Mary Magdalene, of the bride of Christ, as many of us see her, and the fact that she was willing to spread this message of a loving figure that it was willing to lay down his life for you, or that had an important teaching of knowledge and wisdom to bring to the earth, to the world, of how to be kind and be courteous and gentle towards your fellow human beings. Her spreading this message, not necessarily the message of the gospel that is in churches now, but a message of kindness, of hope, of being generous to one another. I think that is a wonderful message, and the fact that she went out with such faith, I think is important to note, and is important to kind of tip our hats to just a little bit if I was wearing a hat. As far as the historical narrative of this, probably didn't happen. Just gonna say that there. Probably, most likely, oh my gosh, that is loud. Probably, most likely, did not happen one little bit. Sorry about the alarm there. That's my 9 o'clock alarm telling me that I need to go to bed. But yes, probably, most likely, did not happen. The whole egg thing, yeah, probably not where that originated. It was most likely co-opted because, pagans already had their traditions with the egg and fertility and the rebirth of summertime or springtime going into summer and whatnot, and the birth of new life among the earth, and the egg being a symbol for birth. I know there are some Oriental traditions that believe in the cosmic egg and whatnot, and I think that's absolutely wonderful and beautiful in and of itself. And so Christianity kind of co-opted these traditions of eggs in their from the pagans, and said, hey, let's co-opt this and kind of make our own story around it and kind of make it our own thing. Yeah, originating the red eggs on Easter, maybe particularly the red eggs, possibly, maybe, I don't know, I don't think so. But is it something that we can enjoy the folklore of, the tradition, the tale, as old as, well, who knows, whenever it was developed? Can we enjoy that? Yes, I think we can. And can we look at it as a mythos that we can derive some further teachings from? Probably. Such as, how easy it is for the emperor to have seen the teachings that were being spread of kindness and joy and love to one's neighbor and whatnot. To see that the message of being kind to somebody is a message worth going out and spreading, and that it can change the way that you look at things and even impact other people's lives, especially whenever you're in a position of power. Maybe we can, maybe that's a little bit of a stretch, but maybe we can, maybe we can't, who knows. There's probably other things that I'm not really thinking of right now, that's not happening in my brain thing right now, that we can derive from this story and the absolute loveliness of this story, but they're not coming to me. I also wanted to include in here a little bit about why Easter is timed the first Sunday after the full moon, after the spring equinox. And I did find an article. I'm not going to read that one today, but I did find an article on it, which it was kind of fascinating. But I think I'm going to save that for next week. It's not a long article, and I actually want to do a parable next week. So, as I promised, I believe it was last week, I wanted to start doing parables and whatnot, and trying to, glean what all we can learn from different parables and whatnot. But I'll put that in there as a little add-on and whatnot. So, this has been a very rambly Christo-Paganism Sunday. I do apologize for that. However, it, like I said, has been a week. And, yeah, it's just been a lot of working, a lot of, going to work, coming home, doing this, doing that. I got my taxes done. Yeah, so hopefully I get the stimulus, the all my taxes and everything that I have down. Excuse me, I am so sorry about that. Hopefully I get all that money back that I'm expecting, and then some, with some other stuff that I can't talk about right now that's happening in the future here. So, yeah, just a couple things that are happening that I can't talk about, but yeah, they're good things. Some of these are definitely good things. So when the time is right, I will be able to definitely share those with you. But as of right now, I'm not allowed to. And yeah, after I'm allowed to, I will definitely share those with you, because they are good things that are happening, and some good things are coming into my life right now, and I'm really, really pleased by it. Now that I've rambled on far too long, this is about 23 minutes or so, almost 24 minutes, I should bid you adieu until Tuesday, which we have Tarot Talk Tuesday. We're going through the 8 of Swords, and we're deciphering all the meanings that we can glean from those, or from that individual card. On Witchy Wednesday, I am doing a special video response to Kara, along with some links that I have to certain individuals in history, and I want to kind of share those with you, and some of the meaningfulness that it has for me, and that you might find interesting. So if you're into history, if you're into witchy history as well, stick around for Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we have Tarot Talks with our Tarot Talk Cube, which I don't have here as a prop to show you where it's at, or what we're looking at, but it is in the drawer down here. Anyway, you'll see that on Tarot Talk, on Table Talk Thursday. I can't even get my days straight anymore. I'm gay. Well, I don't get anything straight anymore. So anyway, and then on Saturday, we're going through our Witchy Book Club series, The Inner Temple of Witchcraft. We're going on to chapter 12, and then again with Christo-Paganism Sunday. I don't know which parable I'm going to do. I'm probably just going to open up the New Testament and pick a parable and go with it. You know, just kind of is it ad lib or ab lib? Lib. I think it's ad lib. I think. Wow, I must be tired. I'm rambling way too much and I'm on camera and I'm not editing. No. Anyway, join me for Christo-Paganism Sunday for that, and why we celebrate Easter the first Sunday after the full moon, after the after the spring equinox. Very interesting things there, dealing with traditions and timing and whatnot. And I think you'll find them fascinating as I did. But anyway, I am so extremely tired. I'm going to sign off here, probably add a little music to the background, and, you know, just upload from there. So until next time, may you have some rest, as I am about to have here, and may you have love, hugs, and ladybugs. Bye-bye.